Testing, 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 testing. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This evening, um, Joe, come correct. But anyway, there's something I want to say. You know, first and foremost, before the judgment starts, look at the title. Look at the title. And if you don't know what the title says, click the three buttons in the top right hand corner when you're scrolling through. But honestly, if you're not on topic, honestly, you will be removed. This is a very serious topic. And this is coming from someone who actually lives here in the city of Chicago, who's been born and raised. Okay? So yes, I am an Illinois resident. I am a Chicago resident and I have been living in Chicago, pretty much my whole entire life. Um we're going to remove the ignorance out, so that we can talk about this in peace without the demons trying to interrupt. But first and foremost, the shit y'all seeing on the news, do not believe this. See, one thing y'all got to understand is this is all a game. It's all a game. It's all a game. To these politicians, it's all a game. To the president, evidently, this is all a game. To them, it shouldn't be a game to us. We take this shit serious because this is our life, right? That we talking about. It's a game to him. Sending the military and all of that, it's a game to him. He just wants to abuse his power. He just wants to show how racist he is, and he has people behind him that agrees with the things that he does, and they agree with his racism, unfortunately. But I say that to say, do not believe the hype. Do not believe these Illinois politicians, y'all. I live in this shit. I live in this. Chicago is still dangerous. The crime is still up, okay? And it's not coming down because Chicago is full of fucking demons. Seriously. And unfortunately, I blame the parents. The parents are the reason why a lot of these children are out here killing and shooting each other and involved in gangs and involved in street wars and stuff like that. It's the parents' fault. Because if you kept tabs on your motherfucking child, then it wouldn't be a problem. Excuse my language. But I mean, just like seeing that, right, on the news. Um, I'm gonna get you out of here. That's the favor that I'll do you. Just seeing that on the news and just seeing Governor JB Prick's, and Mayor Brandon Johnson. First and foremost, Mayor Brandon Johnson ain't doing a goddamn thing for the city of Chicago. Let's just be 100. Behind the scenes, he's an evil piece of shit. Real talk. And let's not forget, early on when he was voted in, he took a picture with who, what, when, where, how? Lil Durk. The mayor of Chicago was happy taking a picture with Lil Durk. The one that's, locked up right now, facing murder charges. Yeah. Yeah. And bro, you of course you believe in your mind that crime is down in Chicago. I mean, don't you have 3 children, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and y'all living good. Y'all living lavish, okay? Y'all are eating off of the city of Chicago. Should I mention the corruption here in the city of Chicago? Should I mention that? If crime was down in the city of Chicago, please explain to me why is it that we can't even walk in our own neighborhoods without being harmed by our own damn people? And no, I don't agree with the weird shit Trump saying. He talking about, oh yeah, African American. I gotta be honest with you, this guy's just comedy, okay? At this point, I couldn't do nothing but laugh. And when I tell you, I was laughing and tears was coming out my eyes because, dude, you are funny as hell, Trump. I gotta admit, you are hilarious. But the shit, like the shit is diabolical. This dude just be making up stuff. He makes up things, okay? And and I don't understand why people believe that shit. Like, dude is saying, you know what, Mr. Vice President, the the, the African American women, they're wearing the red hats and they're screaming. They're screaming, come, come out here to Chicago. Bro, nobody's doing that. Nobody's in the city of Chicago wearing red hats. And if they're wearing red hats, bro, they're hiding. They're hiding somewhere where we can't see them. As a matter of fact, let me not mention this. When I used to do DoorDash and stuff like that, I used to, of course, have to go to the Trump Tower. And those people that work in the Trump Tower are extremely racist, even the black people. So maybe you're talking about them. Maybe they were the ones that you saw wearing red hats, the beautiful black women that you claim that you probably talking about the people that work in that building that you own downtown. But crime is not down in the city of Chicago. And unfortunately, I remember a long time ago I had said that, the only way that this shit will come to a stop is if they enforce martial law. Because these little hood, little young little ninjas ain't gonna stop. They ain't gonna stop. They don't care how many of they folks end up dead. They don't care if they end up dead. They don't care, you know? And they not gonna stop robbing people in their own neighborhoods. They're not gonna stop, you know, carjacking people. They're not gonna stop, doing home invasions and all type. They're not gonna stop. You want to know why? Because everybody in the city of Chicago, in their minds, they believe that if you ain't on no savage shit, you ain't on shit. That's just as simple as it gets. And that is just extremely demonic in my eyes. Real talk. So the fact that the mayor and the governor can literally sit here and defend gun violence is diabolical. It's still violence here. And this shit ain't gonna come to a stop unless they send someone out here. And I hate to say that. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. But you know what? On a more spiritual level, right? On a more spiritual level, you know, the violence is not going to stop at all until the Most High God returns. Real talk. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So even if they do come and they send the military, it's still not going to solve the issue. Unfortunately, it's not gonna help. And me and my husband was really just talking about this. And I'm very, like, I'm in between at this point, because it is a strong possibility that their presence and them being armed, it's a very strong possibility that you know them setting an example can cause or put fear in the citizens of Chicago and stop the damn violence and make people sit their ass down. It's a possibility. But then again, we got to look at the other side. There is a possibility that when they come out here, the gun violence is going to get 100 times worse, because, you know, these little YNs, they going to start popping out the cut with the blinkies on them. And they going to show, you know what I'm saying? They gonna show what they got. Now, what, this is a very tricky situation too, because honestly, um, unfortunately, you do have a lot of people over the internet. The internet, the social media is a very high influence on people in their low IQs. Real talk, because people are saying, "Oh, when the National Guards come out, push them out of your neighborhoods, get them out of there." I don't condone the National Guards doing any harm to innocent children or innocent people at all. I don't, and it's crazy. It's crazy that it got to be this way. I don't condone that. But what I do want them to do is get these YNs up out of here. Get they ass gone. This is the only way to stop the violence. And we ain't talking about, just cracking down on a person being in the gang. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's like stereotypical shit. You know, majority of the time motherfuckers believe that every black YN is in a gang. And no, it's ninjas out here that's not in a gang, that's not gang affiliated, but they're still messed up in the minds. I done hung around some of them. They crazy as I don't know what. Y'all just gotta find them. And it's unfortunate because they're blending in. They look like they go to college. They look like good kids, but they're fucked up in the minds. Real talk. And it ain't just, it's not just black folks. I mean, we seen what the hell happened today, didn't we? They always fit the narrative. A school shooter. He shot up a damn Catholic church. They always fit and honestly, that's why I say it's not just black people that's the issue, man. It ain't. Unfortunately, a lot of people do believe that, see, look, this is another thing I want to talk about, because the whole situation is tricky all around. But what a lot of people don't know is CPD are in unmarked cars, masked up, coming through our neighborhoods and shooting us down. Real talk. They blending in. They dressing up just like, you know, regular citizens. They ain't even got their uniform on. And they're coming through to delete because that is their job, that is their duty. A lot of times, I forgot what year that was. I forgot what year that was, but it was happening a lot. And I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, between 2020 and 2022. It happened in one of those years, and it was a lot going on in Chicago. The crime rate was extremely high, and what was happening and what people were finding out was it wasn't just people in your neighborhood that was the YNs doing the shootings and stuff. It was actually the police. Majority of the time, the crime rate is high because of the police. Real talk. But then again, majority of the time, the crime rate is high because of these YNs. That's just stupid as hell. And and it's crazy because, like I said, that's where it gets tricky. That's where it gets tricky. Overall, the crime rate in the city of Chicago is still high. Do not believe the hype. They sitting up there and they're lying and they're trying to get your sympathy. And they trying to get you to side with them. They want you to believe that there is no crime here in the city of Chicago. The crime is low compared to last year and the year before last. Bullshit. Let me tell you something. If the crime rate was so low, why is it that my husband can't peacefully walk to the store without some bullshit popping off? For instance, he goes to the store today. He walked to the store, right? He gets in there, he calls me after the incident. After the incident, and told me, look, I didn't want to call you when it happened, but I had to, stay calm or whatever. But I want to let you know, some YNs came up in here. They looked like they was in their 20s or whatever. And they locked everybody in because these ninjas had intentions to break through the back door, the employee door, and break into the safe. And so the store manager ended up calling the police and locking everybody inside the store, including my husband. And he was locked in there with them YNs. One thing that I don't like that store did is do that, because first and foremost, people's lives are more valuable than a safe. People's lives are more valuable than a drink off of the shelf, because he told me that the manager said, oh, they was trying to steal some drinks off of the shelf, but at the same time, they were trying to get through the employee door to get through the safe. So she felt like, oh, we're going to lock the doors on them while they in here with us. That had to be the dumbest shit that you could have ever did. Like, you just put everybody's lives in danger in that store. You locked them in there with some ninjas who could have potentially pulled out a gun and held the store at gunpoint. Held everybody up in the store at gunpoint. So, but y'all saying crime is down in the city of Chicago? Lies. If crime was down in the city of Chicago, why is it that in broad daylight, again, my husband walks to the store in broad daylight, early in the day, and I mean, like, you wouldn't even believe that this is the neighborhood, in the city of Chicago, the part of the area, I'm not even saying it right. The area that we live in is a very, it's a peaceful, decent area. It's really calm, really nice. But you got these YNs that's tearing up everything. You got these demonic ass people here that just don't want you to have peace. But why, if crime is down, why is it once again when he walked to the store, broad daylight, early in the day, some YNs decided to come through. Everybody's just, shopping and going about and going to the store peacefully, kids running around in the neighborhood. You got construction workers out. And all of a sudden, you got the elderly folks out. All of a sudden, here comes some YNs riding through, shooting up the damn neighborhood. Guess what happened? It was reported on the news that it was actually a mass shooting that my husband was in the midst of. And it happened like 500 feet behind him. It was a mass shooting. Guess how many people got shot? 5. But crime is down in Chicago. Crime is down in Chicago. Lies, man. The fact that they really got on there and lied is diabolical. Then they got pretty much the whole city of Chicago really bagging them up. And they want to normalize crime, bro. They want to normalize crime. And you got everybody here talking about, exactly, crime is down. There haven't been any. Are y'all fucking stupid or slow? Are you fucking blinded? We live in a city that is well known across the United States, of course, just like any other city. But Chicago is well known for what, drill rap music, beautiful skyline. I don't even know what else. And everybody is highly influenced in a negative way off of the city of Chicago. Now everybody want to be a thug. Now everybody want to be a savage. Everybody want to do drill rap. Everybody is want to be into it with each other. The hoods is into it with each other. Chicago really helped black people hate black people. Chicago really influenced black on black crime. Real talk. In my eyes, Chicago has helped influence black on black crime. And people are praising this like it just reminds me of a cult. People are praising crime. They want to normalize crime. These politicians are fucking sick. You got this bullshit ass mayor that ain't doing nothing for this city. Nothing. He ain't doing nothing. All they are doing is taking away all of the programs, bro. And they pointing the fingers at the Trump administration. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not in MAGA. I'm not a part of that. I don't agree with anything. Majority of the things that Trump is doing, I do not agree with. But you gotta admit that some of the stuff that he's doing kind of does make sense. It kind of sort of does, unfortunately. You know, like for instance, a lot of federal funding is being, pulled away and taken away. And do I agree with that? Not really, but honestly, to a certain extent, I do, because a lot of these organizations and these programs and shit, it needs to be defunded. Real talk. Because they're not fucking helping. You know what they doing? They stealing the damn money. I can't, it is some good politicians out here. It is. It is. Just as well as there's good people out here overall. But we gotta admit, it's a needle in a haystack to be able to find an actual, real, good, genuine ass person. What's up, annoying? It To find a real good, genuine person is like a needle in a haystack in today's time. We are already deceived by AI. Do you not know how many AI videos I come across and I'm starting to pick up that it's AI and other people they can't even identify that it's AI because it looks so fucking real. That lets you know that we are living in a time of deception. So what does that tell you? It's people out here that's deceiving you right in front of your face. People will sit here and pretend and act genuine and kind-hearted. They act like they have compassion. The devil mocks everything. Seriously. And they picking up on your personality and they're just mocking it. They don't even mean to be that way for real. They're just mocking your personality. But see, I pick up on shit like that. I really be feeling people out. And I read through people with the three eyes: inconsistent, inconsiderate, and inconvenient. And if you match up to any one of those and you're inconsistent, you're inconvenient, you're inconsiderate, I know for a fact you ain't no genuine person. I'm telling y'all, man, there's people out here that really act genuine out here. So I say this all to say that if people are easily deceived by AI and people are easily deceived by other people, people are going to be easily deceived by politicians. And you're going to believe them because they'll make you believe them. They play these fucking reverse psychology games. They do this like emotional narcissism targeted at you to get you to feel sympathy for their city, for what Trump is doing. Chicago is a dangerous ass fucking city. Born and raised here. And it has become dangerous. And you want to know why it has become dangerous? It's not just because of, the programs that they took away. It's not just because of the programs that no longer exist. It's because of the fucking lazy parenting. Because evidently, if you knew how to raise your child right, it wouldn't even be this much crime. If you cared about your child and their well-being and what they are doing and what time they should be home, if you had set schedules, if you had structure in the home, if you really put your foot down and show that you're the parent and they're not, it wouldn't even be this much crime. But a lot of y'all sit down and y'all be y'all children's best friends. That's the damn problem. You smoking with your kids, you drinking with your kids, you going to party with your kids, you talking to your kids like they your best friend. You're allowing your child to be in grown folks' conversations. Like, you allowing your child to cuss. You letting your child stay out all time of the night. Trust me, I see the little kids running around here and they asses, I promise y'all, yesterday, again, I saw a 1 year old outside in a diaper running around in a neighborhood. Where the fuck was his parents? Nowhere to be found. Was there other children around him? Yes, it was. It was other children, but where the fuck were they parents? Nowhere to be found. The parenting has become so lazy. These kids be outside all damn day. All day. And as a matter of fact, now that school started back, they go to school, of course. But then once they get home, they back outside. You want to know why? Because the parenting is just that lazy. They are not sitting down doing homework with their kids. They don't give a fuck if their children fail. They don't care what they children they don't care if their children can read, can write. They don't care. All they're going to do is feed your ass to McDonald's and put a tablet in front of you and give you a phone. And they want the television to raise you at that. A lot of these parents allow television to, you know, be a big factor in their child's life. You don't even care about what your child is watching. They have no control. And a lot of these parents, you know what? I saw some videos of the I'm not gonna even say no names, I'm not gonna say no genders. But one of the drill rappers here in Chicago, told their story and told the reason why they went to the streets. They stated because once upon a time their parents were there, but their parents just gave up on them. And once their parents gave up on them, they had no choice but to, you know, raise themselves. And so they took it to the streets. And then they started, you know, getting into altercations with people. Just like this darkness over them because they didn't have their parents to guide them. They had no guidance whatsoever. See, a lot of parents are failing their children now. A lot of parents are starting to realize that they didn't really mean to be parents. They actually didn't want to be parents, especially when life begins to get a little bit of, you know, too fun for them because they now realize that, you know, their time is no longer occupied because they have an older child. And being that they have an older child that is not under the age of 5, because honestly, these 5-year olds be out here like man, I saw a little kid out here with a pistol on him and he looked like he was about 7. I'm seeing little kids out here running around in diapers playing, and I'm telling you, these kids do not go in the house until 10:30 p.m. And guess what? Guess what? The police is patrolling our neighborhoods. Donald Trump, they are. They're patrolling our neighborhoods. But you want to know what they're doing? They're just sitting there and they're watching everything. You know, these kids do deserve a fucking curfew. They need to be the hell in the house. It is dangerous out here. They need to be in the house. And you know, when you send your National Guards, I hope they do their jobs the correct way and they do not bother innocent children or innocent elderly folks or just innocent people. And I really hope that they round up those YNs that need to be rounded up. Okay. And I feel like, honestly, the parents should suffer some fucking harsh consequences behind it as well. Because you're a part of the fucking problem. You're a part of the problem. Now, and honestly, it's tricky saying that too because we got parents out here that really didn't give up on their children. It's parents out here that really tried, but their child just decided to go the opposite way. Their child wanted to find out the hard way. I'm talking about the parents that really don't give a damn. They don't care about anything that their child do. They need to suffer harsh consequences right along with their children. Because the fact that you allowed them to be out here like that tells a lot about you. Crime is not down in Chicago. It's not. There's crime here every day. Every day. Every second. Every minute on the minute. Every hour on the hour. It's crime. Come on now. Chicago is a very big city, by the way. very segregated. I mean, the fact that they got up there and they lied and they said, "Oh, it is very diverse, and we have a lot of beautiful, diverse communities." And they try to make it seem like we all are as one. But if you look it up, the facts are there. Chicago is one of the most segregated fucking cities. Seriously. And it's segregated in a bad way. I'm telling you, you got the urban communities here. You got the Chinatown here. You got Ukrainian village here. You got the Puerto Rican town over here. You got the Mexicans that stay over there. You got the white folks that stay over there. Chicago is segregated, man. It is the most segregated city I've ever been to, I've ever known. And honestly, if you look it up, it will tell you Chicago is one of the most segregated cities. I don't know where it's ranking at, but it is one of the most segregated cities. The crime happens in a lot of urban communities within the city of Chicago. And we're talking the west sides and the south sides and the far south sides. And honestly, the crime that happens on the north side, it's a lot of robberies. Um, I don't honestly, maybe, it just don't get reported, but I don't hear about a lot of, killings and stuff on the north side. I hear about a lot of robberies. But on the west side and the south side, honestly, it's a lot of murders. Seriously. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Just yesterday, a 5-year-old child got shot in the head and killed. You want to know why? Because he found a gun in the home, got a hold of it, and killed himself. How negligent of the fucking parents, or whoever he lived with, or whoever's house he was at. I keep hearing about children losing their lives over, if it's not gun violence, it's a gun in the home. And you want to know how they're able to get to it? Because they're watching their parents tote the shit. How dare y'all say crime is down in the city of Chicago? How dare y'all make those damn lies up like that? Everybody goddamn knows that this is a war zone. Everybody knows that all you hear is police sirens every damn night and day. They want to normalize crime. They want to normalize murders. These people are fucking sick. Y'all don't even know that a lot of these deaths and murders go unnoticed. Y'all don't even know that because the police don't give a fuck here in the city of Chicago. They don't care. They don't give a damn. Especially if you black. They'll watch your ass die. They don't give a damn if it's a gunshot wound or a health condition. They don't care. And you know what's even more sad? The black officers, they black ass is racist too. So they will watch your ass die. They need to see the numbers decline. Welcome to the live stream, hubby. Appreciate you for popping in. You know, obviously we talking about Chicago crime not being down. And I explained to them that what happened when you went to the store, and how you were pretty much held against your will and locked into the store, um, because some damn YNs decided to come in and try and rob the damn store. Like, crime is down though. And we still are seeing, and you know what? Download the Citizen app. I dare you. Download the Citizen app, and you'll see how crime is not down in the city of Chicago. See, they're not gonna report everything on the Citizen app. They're not gonna report that shit in the news. The news, they just, if your story aligns with what they want, then yes, they'll put it there for the whole world to see. But they do not report everything. You cannot trust the news media. All they do is fucking lie. They have to actually blow these things up into something that is really not. See, we living in a time of deception, and people are easily deceived. You know, they easily deceived by objects, by social media, AI, people, the news media, and most importantly, politicians. I don't know, and I just want to switch to this real quick. I just want to say this. I don't know why what happened in Minnesota today happened, but I was on another YouTuber's channel and he was talking about how he believes that it was a blood sacrifice. Can I say he's lying? No. No. I believe that for sure the sleeper cells have been activated, for sure. And it's been a lot of mass shootings going on, a lot of killings, a lot of distractions, most importantly. And I feel for the families that did lose their children behind this. You know, I feel for the families that whose children were affected, and it's just a horrific scene. I feel for the children that are in fear of ever going back to school again, and I fear for the parents that just won't get it right and that just won't understand that keep your child out of school. Seriously. Keep them out to set for our children's sake, for our children's safety. See, this is the thing. Once your child walks outside that door, you don't know what can happen. Putting them in school is a very risky thing nowadays, and I hate to say this, but it is because it's been a lot of school shootings, and yeah, and it's just unfortunate how these parents they see this stuff that's going on, and yet and still they still send their child to school. You know, I will sacrifice a lot to keep my child home, honestly, just to homeschool her. It's bad enough that, we can't even trust the public school system anyway. The public school system is very corrupt. Seriously. The school system overall is corrupt. I mean, this is all a game, bro. This is a game to them. Our children are just walking numbers, tokens to them. They don't give a damn about your child. And I'm not talking about the teachers that really do care, that really do have compassion and is very passionate about being a teacher. I'm not talking about them, but like this system, they don't give a damn about our children. Real talk. I highly encourage homeschooling. Highly encourage. It's too much danger out here for real. For you to, do y'all not know how the parents of these children felt when they had to hear the news that they child, they, just to think, you know what I'm saying? Put yourself there. Put yourself there. Be a human right now. Okay? Let's be human. Because everybody is programmed. So snap back to reality and let's be human for a second. Okay? Realistically, you have to go to work. So your child has to go to school. That's what you think. That's what you believe. And I did talk about the people feel obligated nowadays and how, people feel like they have to. So we all know that that's the issue. But all right, realistically, you got to go to work, your child got to go to school. So you believe that the school system, you believe and you trust that the school system will keep your child safe because it is their duty. Catholic school, private school, public school, it don't even matter. Whatever damn school you send your child to. You believe in your mind that, your child is safe at school while you're at work. All of a sudden, you get a damn call telling you that there has been an emergency at the school. There is a shooting and the school is on lockdown. Now your heart is dropping into your stomach and you don't know what the fuck to think. You like, oh my God, I hope my baby is okay. I hope. Now you concerned. Now you worried. Just for you to get there, you bracing for the moment that your child runs into your arms, and you see everybody else child running into their arms, and the police just run up to you and they're telling you that unfortunately your child was one of the ones whose lives were taken by this senseless shooting. You drop to your knees and you bawl out in tears. Do you still trust the school system? And by the way, you have other children. Do you Are you still going to send your children back to school knowing that you just lost one of your children to a school shooting? Are you still going to send your other children back to school? Are you still going to be able to go to work? Are you going to be able to sit there at work at your desk and trust that the school system has your child's best interest? Listen, I'm not trying to, force anybody into anything. You can do whatever the hell you desire. But I just, me personally, I recommend homeschooling. A lot of parents are starting to turn to homeschooling though, because they see that this public school system is shit. And the school system overall doesn't matter. Look, it happens everywhere. Catholic school, private schools, colleges, it don't even matter. You just got you just got some damn maniacs out here that they will take innocent lives even if that's a child. I feel for those families. But y'all got to understand something, man. We cannot trust this system. The system is dog walking you. If you really trust and believe in this system, you are getting dog walked. Oh yeah, what's up, Ben? Yeah, we gotta stay on topic. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. You can't even send your child to school and, just know that they're there and they're learning. I know I see parents, talking about how they fear for their child's safety once they send them off to school and they have to go to work. Well, god damn it, keep your child at home. You won't have to worry. Pray over your children, most importantly, but also take action. And if you feel like you're not comfortable sending your child to school, then don't. People are afraid of the system, and this is exactly why. See, people are so programmed that they will rather wait until the system locks certain shit down, like back in 2020 when they locked the schools down and they made your child stay at home and do schooling. You was doing homeschooling then. They made your ass stay at home too, and you had to work from home. It seemed like you only do everything according to the system. When a system tells you to do so, then you do it. You obey the system because it is your master. And a lot of people are just like that. They're slaves to the system. They say, yes, sir, massa. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. But we should never, there is nothing or no one to fear except the Most High God. The system is dirty. Seriously. You don't want to, you do not want to trust this system. So the same people, the same people that trust the system are the same people that text and drive. The same people that trust the system are the same people that will walk along the streets of Chicago with their head down in their phones and not look behind them, not look on the side of them, not look up and see what's in front of them, not look up in the sky. They are completely unaware because the same people that trust in the system, unfortunately, are zombie bots. And that's the real truth. All this crime out here in the city of Chicago. And y'all really, 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 really believe in y'all minds that crime is down? This is a very dangerous city. It's a lot of shootings and killings that go on every single damn day. And y'all really believe that crime is down? You really believe these politicians? Bullshit. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, the ratings and, the percentage. I don't want to hear that shit. Because if crime was down, crime would be down. There would be no crime that's going on. It would be every blue moon. Now, when you go outside of the city of Chicago into suburban neighborhoods like Tinley Park, like Orland Park, like Oak Lawn, like, Chicago Ridge, like uh um Westmont, like Des Plaines, damn, you name it, Niles, Illinois, Evanston, stuff like that. When you go in certain neighborhoods, and I'm talking about outside of the city of Chicago and suburban neighborhoods, the surrounding areas of the city of Chicago, there is no crime really. That's what you call crime being down. Because I can go in Chicago Ridge right now and barely see a police officer around there. You want to know why? Because there ain't really no crime happening out there. It ain't really no crime happening. I can go in Tinley Park right now, and you will see Tinley Park police every now and then riding up and down the roads, but there ain't no crime, bro. They ain't got to worry about it. If anything, there's robberies every blue moon, and there's a crime every blue moon, bro. These suburban neighborhoods ain't no crime. I can go outside of this city of Chicago that I live in. I can go outside of this city into a whole nother city. And it feels like a whole nother damn state. You want to know why? Because there is no crime. It's nothing but all you see is cars and people. You will see the police patrolling every now and then, but there is no fucking crime. That is what you call no crime. So take notes, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and stop the damn lies. Stop the damn lies. This city is getting worse by the fucking moment. And I knew that it was going to be bound to happen. I knew eventually it was going to get to a point where the National Guards was involved. I knew it. And do not be surprised. Do not be surprised when martial law goes into effect. Don't be surprised. And most importantly, I have noticed that the looting is starting already. A few stores actually have been looted lately. Ever since he started talking about the National Guards coming out here. And y'all know what else? You know, I think the mayor got it wrong. Bro, you might want to do your calculations again. Because ever since Trump stated that the National Guards were coming out here, and ever since Chicago has gained national attention, these little YNs been out here showing out. And they've been showing out. They like, oh, let me show them who the best savage is. Let me show them, this my hood. This where I'm from. This what I do. Everybody in Chicago want to be a savage. And like I said in the beginning, unfortunately, if you're not a savage, you ain't on shit. You know? And I don't care because I'm not on shit. I'm not a savage. I am not a threat. The only thing that is a threat about me is the fact that I know the truth. The only thing that's a threat about me is the fact that I advocate, I speak up, because what's right is what's right and what's wrong is what's wrong. And the only reason why I'm a threat is because my kindness to the demons, it's a threat. That's the only thing that's a threat about me. And I had to address that because a lot of people, you know, have been saying things, and it's been getting back to me that, it's been said that I'm a threat. I'm a threat. And it's real threats out here. It's real YNs that'll put a pistol to your head and threaten you. I'm a threat and I ain't even touched nobody. I ain't even I ain't even like make nobody feel like they were about to be touched. I've been told that people are afraid, and I'm like, people are afraid? What the I didn't do anything. If I was such a threat, you already know where else that would go. It wouldn't end well for me. I'll just say that. But I know, and God knows, that I'm no threat. I am no threat. I just I just literally just tell it how it is. But let's go back to this real quick because crime is not down in Chicago. They are lying. And if you believe them, then that just lets me know what type of person you are. That just lets me know that you are very gullible, and that you'll believe anything that anybody say to you. You will believe a person if they tell you they won a lottery, knowing that they really didn't. You believe lies. Do y'all not know the majority of the world believes lies? Sad. It's sad. I just had to come on here and say that this evening because crime is not down in Chicago. And yes, I did see the news conference. Um, I did not watch the entire thing because I couldn't continue to watch the bullshit ass lies that they were telling. The fact that they sat there and tried to make it seem like Chicago and the diversity within Chicago is just an amazing thing is just diabolical because and I'm not saying that, different cultures of people cannot be here and it should only be one culture. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that because, Chicago is segregated in a very negative way. It is like a racist segregation. Like real talk, it reminds me of back in the days. It's like when black people go into the Asian neighborhoods, which is not too far from us, it seemed like, they look at us like we're the problem. Like, get out. You know, they don't even want us there. When we go into Mexican neighborhoods and stuff like that, they look at us the same way. But they can come in our neighborhoods and they can work and they can do construction and, you know, all type of stuff. You know, but that's besides the point. The crime is not down here. And like I said, the mayor and the governor need to take notes. You not know how many cities it is in the state of Illinois. And most importantly, since we're talking about Chicago, how many suburban cities are outside of the city of Chicago that is very safe? Very safe. Don't listen to these motherfuckers, y'all. Real talk. A great politician is a needle in a haystack. Nevertheless, wake them folks up.